Hello, guys. This is Andre reporting from TFL Studios, and this is TFL's live show, What Car or Truck Should I Buy? And with me is Nathan.
Hey, guys. Sorry about the weird lighting. I'm in my garage. It was a last-minute change, but wow, this is different.
I was going to say you have a new virtual background. That's really great.
Yeah, it's my virtually dirty garage. Tons of parts. I'm actually standing over a high lift jack right now.
Well, please don't fall down.
I'll do my best.
But at the end of the show, or close to the end, can you show us some Suzuki Samurai parts?
Absolutely. I'll show you guys a few parts of the Samurai that are eventually going to go on there.
Okay. Well, in this show, we usually answer your questions. So we use the super chat, the chat room. We have emails that you send to us. This show is more focused on cars. We do the same live show, but for trucks, and also usually with Mr. Truck. So let's start this show with a question, Nathan, I have for you.
Yeah.
Does the world need a Hellcat-powered Dodge Durango?
Oh my God, yes. Are you kidding me? Everything should have that type of crazy power. And look, we've driven the Dodge Durango SRT and everybody loves it. It's not the most practical vehicle on the planet. It tows really well. I mean, for a unit body wagon, basically, it actually towed pretty good. We took it up the Gauntlet, the SRT, if I recall. And it did really well. It's got crazy power. And it is so much fun to drive. So yeah, I mean, especially with gas being so cheap. Yes.
Well, I'm glad you think so. But this information basically is not official yet. But there's an inside source, and Allpar reported this, that for 2021, the Dodge Durango, and you've seen this prototype, right, with a camouflaged front. You know, you've seen this one.
Oh yeah.
That it's maybe hiding also an optional engine, which is the supercharged Hellcat engine. And I would say, hell yeah. I think the SRT is great. It's not, a very high volume vehicle, but I remember I even drove it on the East Coast when I was with the guys at 5-Star Tuning. And oh my goodness, the SRT is already a great truck. Sounds amazing. And now finally, it could be Hellcat powered.
Imagine that type of, I mean, basically we're talking about the Jeep Trackhawk, right? I mean, in a longer platform with 3 rows of seats. Wow. I don't know how I'd even consider talking my wife into it. Could you just imagine having that as your daily driver? Oh my God. It would just be phenomenal.
Street Muscle 215 says Hellcat everything. Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're nice. We're part of that movement too. We want to Hellcat everything. So guys, thank you for joining as always. We have Chase, we have Fixie, we have Mike Perez, Sasha Spiruk, Street Muscle, Dale Dubnik, DJ Underwood. Thank you guys. Ron Smith, Keith, Charette. Thank you for joining. Suzanne Spalding. Hello. Thanks for joining us as always. I want to continue really quick with a question we just received today, right? This question comes from GN Joe, and it's about towing with crossovers. The question is, I have a 1,200-pound trailer. It's a pony. A pony is a single axle pop-up camper, which weighs about 1,000 pounds by itself. And then GN Joe actually loads it up with a couple 100 pounds of equipment and and stuff for camping. And I need a good crossover that can easily tow this and can hold 4 people comfortably while getting good mileage and has all-wheel drive. Needs to be good in the snow too, and under 30,000 bucks. I think this is very doable, Nathan.
I agree 100%. And there's actually quite a few vehicles out there that could fit the bill. But what I would like to do is I'd like to stay away from the ones that have the CVT, continuously variable transmissions. I'm still not 100% with when it comes to towing and off-roading. So let's move some of those away. So that'd be some Subarus that are rated at towing that much. And let's move on to a couple other vehicles out there that I really like that I've actually towed with before, the older versions, and that would be vehicles like the Chevy Equinox with the 2-liter turbo, and also the Ford Escape, also with the turbocharged 4-cylinder 2-liter engine. Both of those are rated to tow up to 3,500 pounds. And they're really good choices for that. Both of them really do have that excess power, and you want more power and more towing capability than whatever your limit is. So, in other words, towing 1,200 pounds of the vehicle that could tow up to 3,500 pounds, that's a really good start because you already know you're well within the threshold of what it can tow. But you have to make sure that your payload works out. Andre, why is payload important?
Well, because it's everything. Well, because loading 4 people, that already adds weight to the vehicle. Then you're putting the tongue weight, which is in this case around what 120 pounds, right?
Right.
So it's not a lot, but still for a crossover, that could be significant. You're putting it basically on the back by the hitch, and you could squat your vehicle, and you want to adjust it properly so you're as level as possible. We've seen way too many crossovers that are riding like this, right?
That's right.
That's not good because your headlights are pointing up. You don't have as much steering pressure on the front axle. Your braking is not very effective. You're blinding oncoming traffic. All
You're not
those are bad
driving,
things.
and you're not driving as efficiently either by lifting the weight a little bit off the wheels, and then you're tracking weird. And another thing to keep in mind is that there are a lot of crossovers out there that actually don't have very good payload, and you need to pay attention to that. So, for instance, if a vehicle has 850 pounds of payload, which some crossovers out there do, which isn't very much, 4 passengers with a little bit of gear, all of a sudden you're at your maximum payload, and then you're slapping on 120 pounds onto the butt. You're going to have balance issues, you're going to have driving issues, and you might have some safety issues. So make absolutely sure that you're balancing everything out. You might have to take a little bit of the load out and put it into the trailer. Make sure that you're absolutely balanced with your trailer so you're not pushing down too hard. There are all these little things you can consider, but in terms of the actual vehicles that are out there that you can tow with, by the way, there's another one out there that can actually tow up to 5,000 pounds, and that is the Hyundai, the Sportage, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember the Sportage, but are you talking about the Santa Fe maybe?
No, yeah, maybe I am talking about the Santa Fe.
Well, the Sportage, I don't remember exactly what the towing rating is.
There's one of the Hyundai. Oh no, sorry, the Kia Sportage.
Right.
It's rated higher than a lot of the competitors out there, and it has to do with the spring rate. And I recall we actually looked into that a long time ago. Kia and Hyundai do have vehicles that can tow up to 5,000 pounds, but are also in that class.
Yeah, I have another suggestion for towing. I recently put a hitch. My wife owns, we own a 2015 Subaru Outback, and we put in a 2-inch hitch receiver at U-Haul, which is totally cool. They can actually adjust your hitch properly, and they do it fairly inexpensive in a good way.
Yeah.
But they wired the actual the trailer brake wiring, not even the brakes, but the lights for the trailer, the 4-way plug, incorrectly. Well, they wired it correctly, but it was starting to short out after some time. So when the water got inside of it, and I would recommend going, if you're buying a brand new vehicle, actually select a towing package because it will come pre-wired, or actually maybe even already offering your trailer light plug. You don't want to do it aftermarket, even a place like maybe a U-Haul or somewhere else or another mechanic. You want it to be done as professionally as possible, because your wiring needs to be right, your hitch has to be right, so you have a safe experience.
Absolutely. And look, if you're going to be towing near your limits, you may want to consider having onboard braking assist, because frankly, some of these trailers can get pretty damn heavy. Some of them have surge brakes, like Andre's boat trailer used to have that. And that's when you're getting up to pretty high loads where you really should have a pickup truck or an SUV with a proper frame if you're going to tow. But, consider that as well. Added safety is not a bad idea.
How much do you think a Hellcat powered Durango will tow? Like 9 million pounds?
Well, how much did that SRT tow? Was it 8,000 pounds?
It's rated at 8,700.
8,700 pounds. So you figure that extra horsepower, but then again, you have the extra weight of the engine, right? It's a little bit heavier.
Mhm.
So I don't know. That actually might not tow as much, Andre.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't want to be towing with a high performance vehicle probably anyway. Although it's surprising that the SRT Durango is currently the highest towing rated Durango period. So they can throw a curveball at us. JC says I should put a Hellcat engine in my Hummer. I'll
Yes.
consider it. I'll consider it. Nathan should put it in his Suzuki Samurai, I think.
Yeah, there's some guys who've actually shoved V8s inside of Samurais, and that to me is a little sketchy. There's not that much room. Yeah, it's a little big for my car.
I think there was a question here from Daryl Grant. Are TFL trucker hats still available? Yes, we have a few still left. And they are, if you support us and send us a note about that, about a $50 donation, we'll send you a hat straight away. We have still a few available. I don't have them here with me in my studio, but they're there. There's also a question from Matt Wesley, I'm sorry, about the excursion. So late last week, there was some information, there was some rumor based on the patent application that the excursion name is coming back. And Matt says it would be nice to have it with a big diesel V8 or a big gas V8. I would say, yeah, it would be cool, but we don't know anything else about it. Somebody emailed during the weekend, sent me a note saying you should do a video specifically about the new excursion. And I basically answered and I said, all we know is that they renewed the name. We know nothing else officially. So it would be hard to do a video about something where you speculate all the time. So we don't know exactly what's happening there with the excursion name.
JC is asking if Hummer's coming back.
Yes.
Yes, it is actually. GMC's got the electric Hummer coming. The details are really thin on it, but Andre's been keeping a really close eye on this story because it is a pickup truck. It is electric. The debut was delayed, but the production has not been delayed. Am I correct?
Correct. Yes. And this is a surprise. When they said, this was several months ago in February, when they said the Hummer brand is coming back, and it's going to be underneath the GMC brand, right? It's going to be a GMC Hummer. It's going to be all electric. My head almost exploded, first of all. And then they said it's going to be unveiled at the end of May. Now that unveiling is postponed. But they say still by the end of 2021, we will see it in production. So that's pretty amazing. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what's happening there.
It's going to be interesting. If they can succeed and make this a popular truck, it's entirely possible that we may see some other spin-offs going throughout General Motors, everything from Cadillac to Chevrolet. Who knows? They might bring back the K5 and make it into some sort of electric, shorter wheelbase version. Anything is possible. It really does depend, of course, on whether or not people are buying them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Hummer will be a good entry for them because, the new Ford Bronco is coming. Jeep has their Wrangler, of course, and then they're going to have a plug-in Wrangler as well. So I think Hummer needs, or GM needs something in this space, that's off-road worthy, kind of, butch and capable. And electric maybe, I mean, it doesn't have to be electric, but the fact that it is electric, more power to you. Daryl Grant says how to send donations. You can do it here in the super chat, or you can use Patreon. Absolutely. Patreon.com/TFLcar. We love your support. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Ben Teeple is asking if we've talked about the TRX Ram yet. Nathan, I was on my way to the office this morning, and I was just, in town here in Colorado, and I saw a TRX driving. It was completely uncamouflaged. It was a 2007 Dodge Ram crew cab with a TRX4 package, which used to be an off-road trim on
That's
an
right.
older Dodge.
Yeah, that only lasted a couple of years, that TRX package.
Mhm.
And if I recall, that's basically been replaced by the Rebel and some other packaging out there. It didn't last very long.
That's really interesting. Guys, if you if you own a TRX4, a previous trim level of the Dodge Ram, send us a little video or some images of it at ask@tfltruck.com. We're doing home edition videos still. We still have about 200 submissions to go through.
Yeah, a lot.
We really love your submissions. Thank you. But if you have an older TRX4, send it to us, and we'll tell us about it. How has it been performing? Maybe it's a high mileage truck, whatever it may be. That would be really interesting. The new TRX, we don't know much else about, so we can't really say more right now.
Yeah, we have about a half dozen videos about that vehicle and other vehicles it's competing with technically, based on sightings, based on some lightly leaked information. But in terms of production, in terms of actual numbers, all that stuff, we just don't know yet.
Yes. We have a donation from Michael Beavers.
Oh,
So,
thank you. That worked.
$1.50. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you,
Michael
Michael.
doesn't have a question, just support. So thank you very much.
We appreciate that very much. Hey, Andre, I wanted to drop something out there just on a video that went up today. For those of you who are at home and as bored as we are, we did get a cool little thing from our friends at Infinity, and I put together a video and a post on it. And it's basically, they call it Karagami. It's like origami. It's basically free. You can just go online and download the app, or it's not even an app. It's just download the pictures. There's 3 pages, and you can cut and make your own little Infinity car. What I was hoping that you guys could do, if any of you do it, you'll definitely do a better job than I did. I did a terrible job, as you'll see on the video. But take a picture of it or two and send them off to us, and we'll put it out there on social media. You know, do something cool with the design. You can anything other than what I did will be cool. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I watched that video. That was pretty interesting. I had no idea how much, what it's going to take to build that thing.
The tires are the hardest damn thing to do. I got to tell you, the tires were just like really hard. But I'm ham-fisted, so being able to cut out and everything else, and if I can do it, seriously, anybody can do it.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I heard they're gonna have other vehicles available for Karagami.
I believe they're available now. A couple of them, they'll have 3 or 4 of them available, and other people are doing it as well. But Infinity was one of the first to send this to us, which is why we made this video.
Dude, Daniel Forrest just donated $25. Thank you, Daniel.
Holy cow! Thank you, Daniel.
Bing. Thank you very much. That's huge support. Email us at ask@tfltruck.com. And I think we may have still a sticker or something, maybe a patch, a shirt patch to send you.
Absolutely.
Dan Atkinson had another couple of questions. Hey, Dan. First of all, we're doing May Truck Madness. And this is basically a series on TFL Truck where you guys vote for the best off-road truck. And we also asked for short clips. If you own one of the competing trucks, we have 12 of them, Dan Atkinson submitted a clip of his Ford Ranger FX4. And I believe Dan also has a little leveling kit, suspension kit on it. So Dan loves his Ford Ranger, and so we're welcoming more videos.
Absolutely. And if you have a clip to send us, let us know why you think your vehicle should win. A lot of people out there, because this is your vote, all of you guys vote. We have nothing to do with the voting on this. It's all you. But a lot of people are like, well, there are more Ford fans out there than Toyota fans, so Ford will win and whatever. Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, your voice can be heard. So if you have one of these vehicles, take a little clip with you in the vehicle, send it off to us. Let us know why you think it should win. We'll put it out there.
Yeah, and Dan is asking, will a video clip affect our decision about the winner? No.
No, it's not. It's not up to us.
Anything.
Yeah,
so,
I know, Dan. Your truck is awesome. I know it's awesome. A lot of people know it's awesome. We get it, but at least you can get it out there. And what you're doing is you're helping other people make a decision for voting. So maybe they like the Chevy and maybe they like the Ford and they just don't know which one they like. Maybe your video pushes them towards Ford. You never know.
Yeah, and we have obviously at least 2 trucks per manufacturer. So uh, all the truck manufacturers in the United States are basically participating if they have a special off-road package.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. If
Yes.
they have a special off-road package. So I'm sorry, Honda.
I'm sorry, Honda, even though you had an overland concept, it's not really a production vehicle. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so we didn't include it this time. So thank you for those questions. Like Ron McKenna says that he actually really likes the Pro 4X package on the Nissan truck. So I do too. I think it's a great package.
I do. It's such a well-rounded setup. I mean, it's comparable in my mind to the Ram Rebel in terms of what it gives you. Some people would prefer the Rebel, some people prefer the Nissan, but the power output and everything else in the Nissan is really impressive. It's just a good all-around truck.
Yeah, Andrew Woolman had a question. Andrew says, what do you think about the 2020 Chevy Spark? Could TFL do a review on it?
That's an
Absolutely.
awesome question. Andre, let me take this one just for this part. I have been begging General Motors and Mitsubishi, who build 2 of the least expensive vehicles you can buy with the best mileage that are not hybrids. And I said, please send them to us. We want to test them in the Rocky Mountains. I would love, a big fat guy like me in a small car like that, driving them around, trying to squeak out performance and MPG. I think it'd be a fun video, especially if we're going to go head to head. Neither company will give us those cars. So the only way we may be able to get those is renting them or going to a dealership, which is not beyond us. We might just do that, but it would be great to do it. Now, I've driven the 2017 Chevy Spark. It's a decent little car. It's a great little around town car, but I want to take it out on the interstate and see what it can do and how it handles long distance travel. I'm really curious to see how it does.
Yeah, and I remember, Nathan, a couple of years back, maybe even 3 or 4 years ago, we reviewed a Chevy Sonic, and it's a hatchback. I love hatchbacks too. I still have a VW Golf from 2002, and that Sonic was really great.
Yeah, with that little turbo, that thing handled great. It was sort of the comparable, version of a really good hot little hatchback that didn't cost too much money, that gave you, I felt, really good driving dynamics and great gas mileage.
Yeah, we have another donation from Hammer Down Trucking.
All right.
Aha. So that's a $4 donation. I appreciate Hammer Down Trucking
Thank
for
you.
supporting us. And guys, yeah, if you have more questions, just let us know. We're following the chat room. We're following, your emails and all your messages as much as we can.
So while you guys are putting together some more questions, I wanted to point out that this is indeed my garage. This is not a fake background. I apologize for the mess. We're moving furniture while this whole thing's going on. But Andre, should I show him a couple parts that are going to be going on to the Suzuki?
Yeah, so tell them, first of all, like what's going on with Suzuki. So TFL had it first, right?
Right. TFL bought the Suzuki just under 2 years ago, and we tested the hell out of it. We had a great time with it. I immediately fell in love with it. I love analog, basic small cars, especially off-roaders that are little trucks. I always wanted one, so I bought it off TFL when we were done with it. And I promised Roman that I would do some modifications to make it a little bit better, but keep within a budget and then bring it back to TFL. And what I want to do is challenge Andre in that behemoth the Hummer that he has,
Yes.
which, and go off road and just kind of show him how it's done. So what I wanted to do was, I didn't want to do anything extreme, but unfortunately something happened. I'm going to show you what happened. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. While you're doing that, Nathan, we have a couple questions or comments about what is Ford going to do with the new Raptor to compete against the other trucks like the upcoming TRX. We'll get to that in a second. Nathan, so what do you have for us?
All right. So one of the things Roman did was he acquired two of these. This weighs about 45 to 50 pounds, and it's a rock slider.
Nice.
I painted it. I had to refinish it, sand it down, and paint it. It came in bare metal. There's 2 of these, and he wants me to put them on Suzuki. And I said, okay. However, there's a problem. The amount of weight is extreme. So I tested these out. I put them on with some hooks just to hold them on there, and the performance absolutely tanked. So one of the things I noticed is that the suspension needed updating, brakes needed updating, wheels and tires needed updating. So this caused a whole bunch of other problems, and I'll show you the solutions to those. I'll be right back.
So if I'm getting this correctly, so you're building up your Suzuki Samurai 4-wheel drive, and the rock sliders, what, did they double the weight of the vehicle? No.
Nearly. They're basically a passenger's worth of weight. Now I
Yeah.
could take out the back seats and stuff like that in the rear tire in order to save a little bit of weight. But the problem is the balance got all wonky. So what I needed to do was I wanted to lift it a little bit anyway. It's a little too low. So I was going to put a small lift on it.
Yes.
So that was the next step. Now I bought shackles, larger ones, and they didn't work very well because I needed even bigger ones. So I got these.
Okay, cool.
Regular shackles are about this big. So these are almost twice the size. I'm going to
Okay.
put these on there eventually. But in order to do all that, I need to replace the wheels and tires so they're wider, so it sits wider, and so I'm higher off the ground. The whole purpose of a lift is sort of shot in the dark unless you put tires on there to actually lift the vehicle. Be right back.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And guys, this is just showing you that, you know, 1 or 2 mods can lead to a lot of other mods. So people always ask us, should I put a 37-inch tall tire or a 39 on my truck? Well, you're gonna have other problems.
Right, like this. Here's one problem. This is the current tire and wheel that goes on the Suzuki, okay?
Okay.
It's really small and it's really narrow, really narrow. So I had to replace it. And I'm gonna put these on. These are also 15s, but they're a lot wider.
Okay.
So this way I'll be able to put a 31-inch tire on there that's a lot wider, which will help with the stability. But I need to put the lift on there in order to get it up high enough to make it work. That meant I needed to replace the damn brakes.
So Nathan, my question now is, when are you gonna supercharge that thing?
I know everything I put on there means that the horsepower and the power to weight ratio drops. This is the problem with even minor modification. You have to give a little to take a little, right? So I'm removing some of the weight. I pulled the spare tire off. I'm probably going to remove the rear seat for now, which will save me about 60 pounds, but I'm adding about 200 pounds when everything is said and done. I'm not adding any fancy bumpers. I've got this high lift jack here that I wanted to put on there, but this thing is a beast. Look at this. It's just really big, okay?
Yeah.
And
You know what,
it's
Nathan?
really heavy. So
Nathan, I'll do you a favor, okay?
yeah,
When we're competing against each other, this is H2 versus Samurai. I will carry your jack for you in my truck.
yeah, that's the one thing is power.
It's
As long
okay.
as I don't have to worry about passengers, I should be okay. But
No,
this
it's
is
all
the
good.
stuff.
And dude, that Sammy, the Samurai, I mean, it's really clean. I mean, it's a really good truck. I remember driving it, and I mean, the top speed on this vehicle is challenged, but other than that, around town, it's pretty good.
Right. So what I did in terms of mechanically is I upped the timing just a little bit, changed some wiring around, replaced the spark plugs. I rebuilt the carburetor. It was jetted correctly, but it hasn't been adjusted for a long time. So I had to do that. All the suspension's been replaced. The front brakes are now a little tiny bit larger and they're vented because I couldn't find any that weren't vented. So now I got vented brakes for it's completely unnecessary. So everything has been addressed. I just have to slap it all together and put it all on. The problem is once it all goes on, Andre, you said it, power.
Yeah.
I am not going to supercharge it or turbocharge it. I'm not going to put the 1.6 in there. I'm not going to get a Harley Davidson carburetor and put it on there. I've had a lot of suggestions. Dan Atkinson jumps at me about every 3 days with some supercharged monster truck version of a Samurai and sends it to me on my phone. And it's like, dude, it's bad enough that this thing is in my driveway, and my wife every day does this thing where she's like tapping and looking at it and looking at me with that dirty look, like, when are you gonna finish it? So I'm hoping that once everything lifts, I'll be able to finish it off. I still have to put rubber on it. I've got these old Wrangler tires, but they're from an old truck of mine. They're in really crappy shape, and I don't even want to put them on there. So I'm going to get some new tires. But my whole point for all of this was I wanted to do all of these modifications for less than $1,000. My own money, not TFL's money. I failed. By the time I put tires on there, that'll be closer to $2,000, but it's still not too bad for updating a vehicle and making it more off-road worthy.
Dude, it's going to be, I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. And if you were going to sell it in the future, I mean, it's going to have a lot of value, I think.
Right.
And
I'm going to keep all the original parts too. I'll probably sell it in a year or so or less. And I just wanted a toy to play with. And unfortunately, my daughter is taking my Nissan from me, which means I have to buy a truck, which will be the next adventure. I've been talking to Andre from time to time, asking him to talk me down from certain things I was thinking about buying. Did you guys recently see our special that we had on the Dodge Dakota? I got to tell you, I was a little tempted after watching that, thinking, maybe.
yeah.
But I think I might go full-size truck. So we'll see. That's much later down the road. I still have to finish the Suzuki first.
Yeah, so we have a few comments here, Nathan. And
Okay.
also Mr. Pink with a $5 donation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bink.
Mr. Pink says, hope you all at TFL are doing well this evening. Keep up the good content. Thank you, Mr. Pink. We are doing well. And Nathan, first comment comes from Dan Atkinson. He
Dan.
says, you can use some of those things you just displayed as a home gym. Basically, you could press the rock sliders and do curls with the wheels.
Those things are remarkably heavy. And one of the hardest things to do, guys, is I know a lot of you guys probably have better painting techniques than I do. Oops, well, that was a tool that broke. But the thing is that I had to hang these up after I sanded them down, and I wanted to immediately do this because I had to use denatured alcohol and take off all the stuff and everything else. And I had to hang them to spray them down properly and have a ventilated area and all that. Well, it didn't go really well. They are so damn heavy that my garage has like 5 hangers in it, where I had to use just those hangers to hold the damn thing in place, and then I had to spin it around and all that. Yeah, my wife discovered that, and the fact that I'm still sleeping in the same bedroom as she is remarkable. There is one more thing I wanted to show you. So take another question. I'll be right back.
Sounds great. Yeah, I wanted to get back a little bit to a few comments about the next Ford Raptor. We do not have official information yet on the 2021 Fords F-150s. We know they're coming. We know the debut of the trucks have been delayed a bit. There is some leaked information, not official, that says that the production has been delayed a bit, but they're still coming this year, probably between September, October, November for production, for actual delivery. And we don't know if the Raptor is going to have their latest EcoBoost V6 turbocharged engine, or I'm thinking actually, that's my opinion, that it might have a hybrid EcoBoost. But a lot of you guys really want to see that GT500 supercharged V8 under the hood of the next Raptor. I have no idea if Ford is going to do that.
Maybe they'll make a version of it. I don't know if they need a flat plane crank and all that. I mean, there's the tolerances that were built for that GT500 engine are built for a street car, for racing, and the load that it requires, that it goes through versus what a truck goes through are very different. So maybe they'll build a version of that powertrain, but it won't be exactly the same one in my mind. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. By the way, there is one more thing I wanted to show, just a little sneak peek to you guys. I didn't want to add too many accessories, but I will be adding, yes. Yeah?
Dude, I've never seen that. You didn't tell me about this.
Yeah, I wanted some lightweight lights. I really wanted like KCs, old school, but at the end, having LEDs nowadays, they're really good. And so on the where my bumper thing is, which by the way, I finally fixed, Andre, so it sits in one spot. I'm going to put these on there, I hope. And yeah, and one other extra light, which I'm going to hold off on telling you guys about until later on. That's if I can get it on. But yeah, that's two of these up front.
And I recently published, just this weekend, I published a Hummer H2 video to TFL truck, and I've been updating it. I installed a rear view camera, and I'm installing a new head unit. I had some issues, and you guys have responded well, and you guys told me that I needed an interface for my audio system. So I'm loving it. I ordered one. It's gonna come soon. I'm gonna try to fix it and get it going and actually have sound. And you know, when I'm stopped, I can even play YouTube and I can actually watch TFL.
Andre, I had the same system, by the way.
Andrew Stone, donation. Andrew Stone says, any news on the Z71 Tahoe? Actually, we do have news about the Tahoe.
Yes, we do.
Actually, there's a video probably coming online right now as we speak. General Motors unveiled their fuel efficiency and towing numbers, right, Nathan?
And payload numbers as well.
Yes. So all of that is in that video. Here's a quick summary. It was surprising, actually. I was pretty surprised because the new 2021 Tahoe and Suburban and their other full-size SUVs are completely new. You know, new chassis, new body, new suspension. They basically just kept the engines, pretty much, and transmissions. Interiors are brand new, but fuel efficiency went up a little bit in the city, went down on the highway, and their standard towing went up pretty significantly by about 1,500 pounds.
Right.
But the maximum towing stayed the same. So it was very surprising. I didn't expect, I thought they might go all out and actually have a giant towing number, you know, something, you know, really class leading. They didn't do it, but they also didn't say anything about the new diesel.
Right, and that's the whole point. The diesels were not covered. This was the 5.3 and the 6.2, right?
Yeah. So I'm still waiting for the inline six. I have no idea, well, actually a little bit of an idea, you know, why they're not using the straight six turbo diesel Duramax in their Z71 truck. Z71, it's their off-road edition, but this is slightly different. They've always had Z71 trim on their Tahoes and even some Suburbans, but now Z71 is its own trim level. So it has more than just, you know, the shocks. It's a little bit taller. It has different off-road four-wheel drive system tuning. And it looks really cool, I think. I mean, new tires. So I think it's going to be great. I just don't know why exactly, because we haven't driven one yet. Why they didn't put a diesel in there.
Right, and then that might be waiting for a whole new thing. We don't know. But one thing that's going to be interesting, Andre and I got an opportunity to drive the Ford Expedition Expedition with the FX4 package in Moab, Utah. And it did fairly well. And it wasn't perfect, but it did really well. So we already have sort of you know, a measuring guide in terms of really big SUVs and what they can do off-road, new ones that is. So now we're looking forward to getting those GM products and seeing what they can do off-road as well.
Yeah.
By the way, Andre, you were talking about the interface and all the stuff that you're putting in on your vehicle, all of that extra work.
Yeah.
I've got the same thing in the Suzuki.
Really?
This, my phone, and then headphones, and I'm set. And it doesn't weigh anything.
That is incredible, Nathan.
It's so much easier.
That is incredible. Yeah, all I wanted is, so my main thing for doing it, I needed a rear backup camera because let's face it, I was getting tired. I usually hook up my boat trailer by myself and not a lot of vision in the Hummer. So I have to go out and look and come back again and check. And I got tired of hooking up. So I decided the rear camera works, but I wanted it in the center, you know? So that's what I did. Ron Smith, you want another Hummer H2 video. Let us know what you want to see, because We did the off-road thing. Maybe when the Suzuki is built with Nathan, we'll do another one. But let us know what you're interested in. Do you want to see the radio interface? Do you want to see that setup? Do you want to see something else?
I want to see you towing with your new camera and stuff. That's what I want to see.
Oh boy. Well, lake season is upon us. We should go to the lake.
When we're
And
not to, yeah.
eventually, if we don't have too many social distancing regulations, I really want to go to the dunes again.
That is something that we really, really want to do. And in between all the other stuff we have planned for later on this summer, hopefully we'll be able to do it. And that's with Mr. Truck.
Yeah. So Ron Smith, send us a note at ask@tfltruck.com, or any of you guys, if you want to see more Hummer videos, or maybe another update on your Suzuki, Nathan.
Without a doubt. I intend to do a full video on the Suzuki updates, but I want to have more stuff on it because right now it looks pretty much the same that it did before.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll see more about that. There's a question here about when is General Motors updating their truck interiors. We don't have an official word on this yet. We know that the Tahoe and Suburban and other interiors in their SUVs is different from their Silverado and Sierra trucks. So there's been a lot of rumors saying that they will just kind of take that new interior from the Tahoe and throw it into the Silverado. I don't know specifically, but I think there'll be some changes. I don't think they can carbon copy, their SUV interior and put it in there. Because trucks are a little different. People who drive trucks may not want to do push button, transmission. They want.
I sure as hell don't. Right, except for Ram, who likes knobs. But there are a couple things with the mid-sized trucks. Recently, they did update the interiors a little bit, and we're hearing that there'll be other updates coming in the near future.
Yeah, another donation from Roger Wheeler.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you, Roger. $5. Roger says great work. Appreciate it, Roger. We have a full lineup of videos coming up this week. We have a Nissan Titan towing video on TFL Truck. We have a Transwest, very huge Cimarron trailer video coming up as well. Tommy is working on his Jeep Gladiator project. On car, we have Loveland Trials with electric cars, a lot of other cool stuff. On TFL Off-Road, we have a couple of home editions coming. It's going to be action-packed, dude. Oh, and we have a DeLorean. Somebody sent us a DeLorean video and also a Mercedes classic car video to classics. So check out TFL Classics there as well.
So someone was just asking about the H2 and whether or not you've done a towing video with it before. Haven't we towed with it once before? Back when it was a TFL truck before you bought it? So
I don't know if we did a proper towing video. So we did do, remember Nathan, you and I did an MPG comparison, Big Green versus Hummer. We were trying to figure out which truck was the least efficient, in our fleet. But we didn't really tow trailers. And guys, here's the thing about trailers. It's done good for me towing the boat. The boat weighs around almost 6,000 pounds with everything, the trailer, all the accessories. And I've towed when it was 99 degrees outside in the summer. I was a little nervous, but the truck never overheated, never failed. The only issue is it has a 4-speed. Now the new Tahoe has a 10-speed, right? The Hummer has a 4-speed, and it can't find the right gear. It's like, it's either revving too much or not enough. It's just, the engine has power, but it's kind of bouncing between these gears. So,
well, for those of you who don't know, he has the 6-liter, the old industrial 6-liter in there, which is a really reliable engine, but it's not the most powerful, I would say. 6.2 would be better in that thing, or a diesel.
Well, everybody wants me to do a Duramax swap on the H2, which people have done. But that's a project that's a little bit outside of my budget. I can't quite, find a new motor and actually pay somebody, because I don't think I would be able to do it myself.
Yeah, I
If
think
I
that's a
did it myself, it would
$20,000
take
bill on
another
its
3
own.
years
Yeah,
and it would not work.
it'd be lengthy and expensive.
Yeah. So guys, we really appreciate you joining us. See, Botox just says, put a Duramax in there in your H2.
Yeah, there you go.
I hope we addressed all of your questions. I know we can't get to every comment, so we apologize, but we will look at them after the fact.
That's right. Remember, guys, this does become a regular video a little after we're done and we sign off. And we usually go back in there and try to answer a couple more questions. One final thing is that on this Friday, we will have yet another episode of What Car or Truck Should I Buy, but Truck Edition with Mr. Truck himself.
Yeah, we're going to continue doing this. If you guys are enjoying these live videos where we can have a discussion and actually answer a lot of your questions, or at least address them, we're going to keep doing it. So
Hell yeah.
I appreciate it. So guys, we're going to sign off for now, and we'll see you on Friday. Nathan, good luck with that build, okay?
I'm already kind of tired of it, to be honest with you.
Okay,
Okay,
right.
guys, have a great week. Be safe and be sane out there. We'll catch you next time.
And let's hope for that Hellcat Durango, huh? Let's hope. All righty.